Hey, welcome to Fired Up with Rad. My name is Rad, and I'm about to get fired up with my guest, Rob Kilgallon. But first, I want to show you my sponsor today, which is CrateClub.us. Always ready. Badass gear picked by badass dudes sent to badasses like yourself. CrateClub.us. Go check them out. All right, so with that said, I have a friend and a very interesting guest today, and his name is Rob Kilgallon. And Rob is a Master Sergeant with the 807th Medical Command Deployment Support Battalion?
So it's a division.
Division.
Correct.
And that is here in Utah.
Correct.
And Rob makes sure that soldiers are ready and healthy to do their jobs.
Correct. So there's many brigades. There's 5 of them. Mm-hmm. And we have battalions below that. And there's a variety of units that make up veterinarians to support hospitals and to include nurses and doctors and surgeons and forward surgical teams and those sort of things.
Right. I was able to actually go and check out the base, and we met like the nurse. What was her name?
Major Brashears.
Brashears.
Shout out to her.
Little shout out to her. And then our Sergeant First Class that sits by you, listens to your guitar.
First Class Cunningham.
Yep. Photographer. Extraordinaire.
Yes. Yeah.
We're going to make him live up to that right there.
Yeah, we will.
And, that was an honor where I got to go and, I've worked with the 807th doing Best Warrior competition, which you guys just had out at Camp Williams. And what a great environment, dude. I mean, how did you come up with that?
For the Best Warrior?
Yeah. I mean, what were you thinking?
So you mean the mystery event, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So the Best Warrior is a competition for it's active component also, and reserve and a guard does the same thing. And so basically it's kind of like a playoffs or the Super Bowl sort of thing. And as you go through your different levels throughout the commands, eventually you get to the USARC one, and then they compete all together in big army and that kind of thing. And they come up with the 2 winners, so to speak. So in the Best Warrior, each unit or whoever's hosting it determines what these events are going to be.
Sure.
So when we first started, this is our 3rd year we've done this. Mystery events kind of been my thing, and I like doing that because it's all central one-person thing, how they determine how well they shoot, how they determine how they do whatever that event is individually wise. So I took it to a level where if we did it as a team,
right,
and we conduct this mission, so to speak, and then we get through it, and at the end, it's single again, but it's still, can you retain, can you move, shoot, and communicate kind of thing. So that's what it was based around. It's a lot of fun. It keeps them thinking, keeps them engaged, builds some experiences.
Causes some stress where they
Absolutely.
have to figure things out. I mean, there was land nav involved.
Correct.
Right? There was firing on the firing range. Right?
Yes.
Target acquisition, qualifications, thank you. And then there was meeting with an oppositional force where they had to go in and meet with like a commander of another foreign, which was me. Yeah, I was the op force commander.
Exactly.
And I was like, give me your glasses, bro.
Right.
And I would get their glasses or their patches or things like that. But it was really cool to give back and be able to help, ready them.
Yeah. So, the intricate part of this whole thing is we have soldiers from different levels, different ranks and experiences and stuff. So to make it even, as you may think, is that the teams at their skill levels is to get them involved in something they've never really done. They may do at some point similar or some kind of idea of it. And so we take that scenarios and we build on it. So we had the scenario as, hey, meet the leader and gain some intel, give them back some things we're supporting them with. And then they get that feel and understanding, because if they can do it here, they get the confidence to do it later somewhere
Exactly.
else.
Like, I've been in this situation kind of.
Right.
Oh,
right.
Okay. I can probably handle somebody who speaks some Chinese.
Right. Yeah. I was thrown out there. That was crazy.
So, some linguist things were going on, and just some confusion. Fog of war was to be set for them to have
Attention
to
details.
How are you going to pull your litter out?
Right.
How are you going to get that strapped up? How are you going to get your Joe or whoever, even if it's not your Joe? What if it's a wounded tribes person that you got to work with?
You have to.
An indigenous.
Absolutely.
It's like, we got to help them. It's like, get them out.
Yeah.
So that was a really great opportunity. And I think that was a fabulous, successful event I think so. Yesterday, that was proof.
Yep.
And then tell me something here though. Because you don't just all of a sudden become who you are overnight. Okay. And so I've always been kind of curious. I know your background. I know you play some music.
I do.
So how did you go from being Rob the punk kid in high school who was into like Black Flag and whatever other music, Depeche Mode,
everything,
to all of a sudden, tell me a little bit about how you got into NASA SWAT.
Wow.
Let's go from
high school.
And I want to hear about the jump wings.
Okay. Which is a good story.
That's right. To NASA SWAT.
Okay. So from high school, I was an ROTC guy.
Okay.
And so I got up to cadet command, and my sister followed after April. Shout out to her.
What's up, April? How you doing?
So, my father was a prior service Air Force as well. And so my family, my grandfather was in the Army. He was an anti-artillery guy. And my grandfather on my dad's side, he was also a infantryman in World War II. So one was in the Pacific and one was in Europe. So it was kind of interesting over time that I would somewhere.
The Lieutenant Dan syndrome.
Right?
Someone in my family has died in every war or been in every one.
Right, been in every one practically. Yeah. So I'm not sure about further back, but so I went to college and it was an ROTC college there at the University of Texas Pan American. So shout out to Edinburgh. And so I'm from the Valley, South Texas. I grew up in Corpus Christi. And so then my parents moved down to Harlingen, Texas. That's closest to Brownsville you're going to get without crossing the border. And so I went to college there for 2 years, and I was a ROTC cadet. And then my freshman year, I joined the Ranger Challenge team. And so they do a lot of extra stuff with the reserves and guard, and you work alongside an SF.
Special Forces team?
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, it's mainly the instructor. So he came from that background. He gives back to the colleges and stuff. So we got a lot of that kind of mentoring, so to speak. So I got to go to Fort Benning, 1990.
Fort Benning, Georgia. That's the home of the Airborne School. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So back then I was a young man, 19 years old. And so went there during August, and the day I graduated, Desert Shield came out that day, and they came out and says, "Hey, who's infantry, that kind of stuff?" And I'm like, "I'm a cadet." So I went home. My mom was kind of worried about that kind of stuff, so I had a nice red, beret, brand new and young kid. And
as a cadet. So had you already gone through like basic? No. So here you are going through Airborne School, getting the maroon beret for Airborne.
Yep.
As a cadet. 19 years old?
19 years old.
Okay, so no, not in the Army.
Nope.
Not yet.
Okay.
So I'm just clearing this up, right? I'm making sure the story is being followed here. Yeah. So here you are, Airborne.
Right.
Not in the Army.
So now it's as all young men and
I love it.
People in college, I can't continue the money that's costing and no direction. You're young and you're trying to figure it out, and it's like, I'm better off trying to figure it out on my own. I'll just go ahead and join the service. So my sister talked me out of the Marines, and she said, "You should probably join the Air Force. You're pretty smart." And so I said, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Because I kind of knew how the Army was,
Sure.
So I went ahead and went to the Army instead. And they say, "Hey, we can make you 11 Bravo." And I said,
which is an infantryman, right? 11 Bravo is the MOS acronym.
Correct.
Just breaking that down. So
yeah, and at the time I already went to Airborne School. I was like, why can't I be a Ranger, Airborne Special Forces guy?
Yeah, right.
Makes sense, right? That's all I want to do. And most people who want to do that their whole life, that's what they do. And so I ended up going to the Air Force and say, "Hey, what can you do for me?"
Right. You're like, I want to be this, but let's go to the Air Force.
Yeah, why not?
Right.
Check it out. So,
as an airborne cadet, by the way, right? Okay, so this is going to get interesting.
Yeah, so I wanted to go PJs, the pararescue, and that was my goal. I didn't care about anything else. I said I can do it. I was in great shape. I'm still am, I believe. And so then I show up and do the basic training, and so you have the shakedown day, right? The day they
drill sergeants come in and they're like, "What are you doing in my life?"
Exactly.
"What's these pairs of shoes here for?"
Yeah, and I'm the old guy, right? So I'm 21 now.
Right, so you're grandpa.
Yeah, so
in
the
flight.
"Why are you doing this?"
That's right.
Now, right?
Lackland Air Force Base.
Yeah. So I'm there, and of course, you have everything laid out in your bunk, and of course, I was smart enough to bring my orders, my certificate, and my airborne wings.
Which are these right here? We can go
they are actually. Yeah, that's crazy.
Where they at. Oh, right here.
Well, those are not the exact one, but it's
those are the jump wings right there.
Jump wings on top, yeah.
That's right, the first ones.
Yeah, so those are not exactly the ones, but I could
close enough. Close enough. Those are jump wings, silver wings.
So of course the drill sergeant comes up and it's like, do you think you're airborne? You think you are just that guy? And I said, yes, drill sergeant. That's my orders, and that's my certificate. I was a cadet prior and graduated, and now I'm here in basic training. So actually, I went to jump school before I went to basic training.
Yeah, right. That's
and I
crazy.
actually have a picture. I didn't bring it, but my jump wings, and they didn't have that. So.
And so, what was like your reaction from your drill sergeant when he realized that he had an airman who was a recruit that is airborne over him?
Oh yeah, so they were highly mad. I would have said something else, but yeah, they were
upset that you were.
The next guy was the all attention too, and you know how that goes.
Yeah, exactly. So they just moved off of you once they realized you were actual airborne. They're like, well, why is this guy here? They probably went back and talked about you for a minute, like cup of coffee.
You know what? I didn't get any hassle. Be honest with you, I was always helping out. So I said, to get out of doing all this other crazy stuff that you guys want to do, how about I just shine everybody's boots for,
I'm really good at shining boots.
Yeah.
Back then when you had to shine boots.
Yeah, right. Shined, and so actually what happened is like 30 of them I had to do, and I didn't mind because there's nothing else to do, right? So
sure, shine shoes.
Going out of town.
It's my job.
Yeah, I had that one goal.
You go clean the toilets, I got the shoes.
Right. Then I had this guy come up and he says, drill sergeant says, hey, you listen, great job, but we had just had this inspection. Mm-hmm. They were like, wow, everybody's boots are spit shiny. You know how that goes in the military, right?
It's you, dude.
So we got the rest of the day off. So
I love it.
It worked out. Yeah. So I go to a tech school at Shepherd Air Force Base, and as a go track back.
Sure.
So I was going to go do the PJ testing and that kind of stuff. So
pipeline for that.
I pipelined to basic training, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. So I only did the 2 weeks of basic because I had prior RTC in high school and college.
Oh wow!
So that doesn't exist anymore. So now, if you even go from Air Force to the Army or anything else, you still have to go basic straight.
Right.
So I was kind of like grandfathered in, kind of thing. So. Rain, San Antonio happens.
Somehow a vortex around your life.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you're not doing it. So, of course, it's the whole, you can do it next time, right? You can do it at your next post or base and that kind of thing. So I end up going to Little Rock Air Force Base, and we're in line for the barracks and the seating and job arrangements and stuff. And the guys coming up, and it's like, you're a fleet, you're this, you're that. And they get to me, and they're like, rigger, okay, and then,
parachute rigger, right? Because they see you're airborne.
Yeah,
like,
which never happens.
Rigger, yeah. It's like you're gonna go.
Yeah, and I was super excited. I was really super excited, exactly, because everybody kept saying, "Oh, you'll never do that. You'll never do that." You know how I am with don't say no.
Tell you no. You mean exactly. You want someone to tell you no so you can prove them yes, exactly.
So I was that in the Air Force they have roommates and they're separated by a bathroom kind of thing in Little Rock Air Force Base, and. So my roommate at the other side, he was the fleet guy, so you're always the new person. So you get all the garbage jobs, mm-hmm. right? Literally garbage, right? So every afternoon, I'm cheery Rob, hey,
sure.
having a great time. We did all this cool stuff. And then he's like, I hate my life, and I just got this in my face. And, I felt so bad. He was like that, what is that? Meet the Robinsons, the cartoon where it's like, oh, I hate my life.
I hate my life.
Yeah. So I feel so bad for him. I was like, that's okay. Hang in there. It'll be better. That kind of thing. And, I ended up going to Africa. I did a Mombasa trip there on TDY. It was my first ever away from home and everybody else. And it was a very interesting.
Africa, huh?
Yes.
That is an interesting
cool.
place to send you for your first deployment.
It is.
What was going on over there?
So we're supporting the Somalians.
What year was this?
93.
Just right after Operation Serpent.
Right.
So Black Hawk Down for the movie folks out there.
I think that was prior to that.
Yeah, it was just right before that, right? And so you guys are coming into that area.
So as a transportation, that's the only time I ever did my job. We're loading aircraft, mm-hmm. we're loading supplies, we're doing those sort of things. And so I actually got a trip to go on as an incentive flight kind of thing to go fly right on a mission. So, of course, I'm getting up. I worked all night prior to, and you're flying, and don't get out of the aircraft. Just let them take everything off. And so they did. So we get back, and they say, hey, you notice that there's a hole in the fuselage. They actually shot at us.
You guys got shot at?
Yeah, we did, yeah. I was like, wow, that sucks. I'll never do this again.
Right. No, you were getting shot at because they're just shooting up it from wherever.
Wherever, exactly.
Pop shots.
That's why I said don't get out of the vehicle or out of the plane, right? So, I get back, and it was a great experience. I got to train with some CCT guys that were like,
combat controllers, right? CCT.
Yeah, they're like, hey, you need to do this, and I was ripped. I was ready to do this.
And a combat controller is somebody who goes and sets up a forward, like air traffic controller or
Correct.
forward runway,
Right.
and they will like create that and
Exactly.
call in all the
It's
aircraft.
good.
Am I right?
Or no good.
Right. It's good or no good. And that's who you were working with.
Right.
So this whole time, like pararescue, moving, trying to get that pipeline, hitting up combat controllers.
Yeah, and again, time and space doesn't match.
And you're already airborne, so you're already like, that foot's in the door.
So I get back and I go through rigger school.
Yeah.
So the school sends their instructors to us because we have everything. It's
And a
just-
rigger would pack the chutes for the person about to jump out of the airplane.
Correct, except for the Air Force does not do that. So the Air Force does what they call low altitude parachute extraction, LAPES and stuff. So, and they also do cargo. So we do a lot of cargo. So we have C-130, C-141, C-5s, loading and
All those big chutes, you were setting that up and
big
dropping
buses
those.
that can drive through them. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. So it was pretty interesting.
That's legit.
And so we did all that training and got the wings. So now I have airborne and rigger, which is
which is, if you come back to this right here,
the bottom one. Yeah. Right there. Yeah.
That's the rigger.
Yep.
And then the one above was the airborne.
Yep. And
you wear those on your uniform above your left
side,
left side right there.
Correct. So this is when I was at Airborne School. Of course, that's the actual flash in the unit. That's the.
Well, what's this big honk? I know we're talking, but what's this big honking medal right here? What is that? What's that from?
The Order of Military Medical Merit Award. So it's not an official military award, so to speak. It's basically an award given out from AMED. They're in Joint Base San Antonio. And so it's to signify your contributions to AMED. So the requirement is if you have it, you recommend somebody, they fill out this form, you do all the 4 contributions that you felt within a 10-year span or within your career, which most are career-based. So I put in a lot of stuff that I felt contributed to.
Right.
And it started from when I was in E3, E5, 7, and 8 now. So all that it was cool to read about it.
So you compiled yourself and said, "Here's what I've done."
Yeah, my highlights.
And they said you get that medal.
So it goes to a board, and then the board convenes, and then they let you know. Well, they don't let you know if you don't make it, but it's sent to the person who nominated you, and then they award it through. I was awarded by Brigadier General Dyer.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought the general had to put that around your neck
He did.
at one point. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
Thank you.
First of all, okay? That's it. Straight up. You deserve anything that comes your way.
Thanks.
And so now that we got that medal out of the way, so back to you are airborne, you've gone through Air Force basic, and now you have worked with some CCT guys in pipeline, and now NASA.
Yeah, so I get out of the Air Force in '96
Okay.
at Cocoa Beach, Florida, which is Patrick Air Force Base there. And I had a family, and so I decided to do my EMT because I was volunteering on my off time as a EMT driver, EMT for Harbor City there in Melbourne.
Like paramedics.
Yeah, I was EMTB basic, but I just volunteered my time when I wasn't working.
Sure.
So they sent me to school for EMT school. So I got my Florida license certification and stuff like that. And then so I ended up going, when I left San Antonio, came back to Florida, I ended up going to the academy. I went to the academy there at Brevard Community College.
What academy is that?
It's the police.
Oh, okay. So you went to Law Enforcement Academy. Became like certified for law enforcement.
Yep.
Okay.
So I got the certificate and all that kind of stuff, and then they gave me, hey, where do you want to go? I got some cool awards and that kind of stuff, but
I'm airborne.
Yeah, so I always look for a challenge. So then, I really wanted to do the sheriff's department, and some friends were already working at the Space Center, Kennedy Space Center there in Merritt Island, and they said, hey, you ever thought about doing Kennedy Space Center? And I'm like, what is it? And they said, well, they kind of get paid like this, and the sheriff's department is kind of like down here, and I'm like, well, I really
so there's a difference in pay scale between
there is
Kennedy,
a huge
NASA,
one, right,
and local law enforcement.
And reverse it if it's danger kind of thing,
Sure.
Being young, 28 years old, and young family, and so I'm thinking, hey, I want to be able to, provide and that kind of thing. So I said, why not? I'll try it out. So I did my interview, who happened to be a guy that was the chief of the department,
Sure.
who I also worked with while I was in the Air Force, and I knew him through that way. And he's like, hey, you want a job? I'm just like, sure.
So you got a job at NASA.
Got a job, but it was just basic security, right? So it was just
Right.
your security guys, and the contract had changed. So they said, hey, we'll pay you this, and you show up, and I did. So I had to take a Netflix, course with them. It's a 2 months course after I just got out of an 8-month academy.
And Netflix is what?
The National Law Enforcement Training.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for
So
telling
it's
me
in
that.
Quantico is the main one. So they send the instructors, they train the trainer kind of thing, and they teach that there at the Space Center.
Okay.
So did that, and then as we're doing qualifications, I shoot really well, and I did really well in the academy, got a trophy for it, and that kind of thing. And I see these guys on the side, and they're all dressed in black, and they look pretty cool. And I'm looking.
You're like, who are they? What are they?
Yeah,
I want that outfit.
I said, who are those guys?
I want that loadout.
Yeah,
That's what
they're
it
like,
says.
that's the NASA SWAT team, and I'm like, we have a SWAT team, and he's like, yeah. So I said, how do I get on it? He goes, you can't. And I said, watch me.
Yeah.
And I said that exactly. And I said, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to be on the team? And they said they don't have tryouts. So I walked over there, literally.
Said I want on this team.
I said, how do I get on the team? And they kind of looked at me weird, like, who are you, kind of thing. Because in most departments, there's a process and there's a time. But since this company is kind of really just formed, they were kind of still doing those nuts and bolts.
Yeah, they were finessing their own in process probably to get people to come in the pipeline themselves. And so they're like, well, this
guys have been there a long time too.
Right, and they're like just creating this situation that you're about to explain what you did.
Yeah.
Right.
So the time came and I trained for it, and I actually did the qualifications and I passed it. And I, of course, like Jason was saying, hey, I was that guy. Hey, let's do it together.
Oh, yeah. He's referencing Jason Van Camp, who we were talking with, saying, hey, let's become Rangers with his buddy.
Right.
And his buddy didn't show up the day that he went to show up. And he's like, where were you, bro? He's like, I got up at 4 a.m, right? So you did that same kind of thing.
The exact same thing.
Buddy's like, let's go do this.
Right. And he bailed.
And he bailed on you, but you didn't.
No, I didn't. But I had others that jumped on board with me. Because I see opportunities. I'm like, hey, you should be a part of this too. It'd be a great thing for you. And so, here now I'm on the SWAT team. I'm taking some crazy, you're on third shift, so there I am on third shift.
But you're on NASA's SWAT team now on third shift.
On third shift.
Which you were told no.
I was told no.
But now you're like, here I am, third shift, NASA SWAT.
Right.
In the loadout.
Yeah. So they brought up the 9/11 thing, talking about that time period, right?
Yeah. Where were you on 9/11? Tell me.
I was, now I've been there a while. So now I'm a team leader.
Right.
Third shift.
On 9/11.
And 9/11. And we're having a mass everybody's having a mass training day, and that's what we did quarterly.
So that's before the plane had hit. You
had
guys
no
were
idea.
all eating breakfast, getting ready to do your training.
Yeah, we were all geared up with just regular stuff.
Yeah, tell me your 9/11 day.
Yeah, so we're doing training. Everybody's getting their stuff. We're going to go hit the tower, do some rappelling, some shooting, and those sort of things, in the shoot house and that kind of thing, and get some training going. And so I'm walking past the TV, and these guys are all watching it, and they're like, "Holy cow, can you see this?" And I kind of turned and looked, and I honestly thought they were watching a movie.
Right.
I was like, okay, what am I watching? What's all
New
this
York's
about?
on fire.
Right. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, the second one hits.
Yeah.
And then it hit me like, oh.
Under attack.
Yeah. Stuff's getting real, right?
Yeah, right.
So, of course, in any Air Force military base anywhere, DEFCON 4, right? So
immediate.
Delta, right? So
under
shut
attack.
Everything down, right? So they told us to load up. Here's where you're going, blah, 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 blah. And nobody really knew we even existed, to be honest with you, because we were kind of low pro.
Right.
And we
with
did
inside of NASA, like. Yeah, please keep going.
Yeah. So we do a lot of VIP protection. Well, did VIP protection and astronauts, dignitaries, actors, those sort of things. They come out, and we used to do a lot of those things, and of course other things too. But so we would. So here I'm at the command center, right? Me and my partner, and we're walking down these halls dressed in black. I have everything in their pocket.
You're all decked out. You got your gear, you got your ammo,
I have probably 3 weapon systems on me.
Yep.
Which is unheard of.
Right.
And big guns, long guns, everything.
Little small guns.
And I got protective vests and all that.
All black?
All black. And I'm walking down halls. And,
right.
And literally it was
with your posse.
A surreal moment. It was very not unforgettable.
It's like the right stuff, but the NASA SWAT team version. It seems that's what I have in my head. Like they're all walking down, like getting ready to launch, but here comes NASA SWAT through the hallways.
We're going to hallways and hearing people crying.
Yeah.
We're hearing people sobbing and scared and looking at us with fear, and we're trying to calm everybody down and just,
Everybody's confused. It was a very confusing day. It was
we
very
were
confusing.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a very long day that
right.
day.
Because you're just human as well in that uniform. I just want to say, so you're trying to in process all of this that's going on too.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you're thinking of being a protector, right? That's your job.
That is your job.
And so now you're going to do your job.
Right.
And so we did fly a lot, and it was a lot of long hours.
And why did you fly?
So NASA has their own helicopters and their own, they transport pilots and astronauts and those sort of things. So we have one security, so we have air security as well. So we would take turns. We have shifts and stuff like that. We'd volunteer or not volunteer, be told to go do. So we had all those sort of things, and we flew a lot that night. And we
to close down airspace and whatnot, right?
Yeah,
things like that
for shuttles. Yeah, so you have the shuttles. They're going to go up. The shuttles going on
the space shuttle.
Exactly.
Right. I'm like, let's talk about the shuttle here. It's not like the snowboard bus shuttle. No, it is the shuttle, like the
crawler, the VAB, those sort of things.
The big boys.
Yeah. So, I've been on everywhere there. I've been on close the VAB, where you can get the shuttle on top of the actual.
Dude, I'm not worthy. Like I should just be bowing down here. Like I am not worthy. This is so awesome. Like, I'm fired up.
Yeah. So it takes 8 hours to get out there. I'm telling you, it takes a long time for this big shuttle to roll there.
To crawl its way to its position. That's why it's called a crawler.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's made by German engineering.
Sure.
It's like only 2 exist in the world.
And it has to pivot and it has to move.
It's
like
it's
probably like moving the Mars rover. It's like every little increment.
Yeah, you can walk it, and we're not walking it. We're in a car or in the actual top of that.
You just go with it.
Yeah, we just hang on for the ride. Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah. I bet no time lapse. It's like real quick.
Yeah. But I got great photos of that. Someday I'll have to show you.
Please, you'll be on here again. There's so much to talk about. And we only have so much time to go over so many things. But I just want to show off this right here. This is one of your.
Grab that one.
This is one of your patches right here. This is to the NASA.
So that is actually probably one of the first ones that I can remember. Right.
Maybe I can get this camera a little better right here.
So many of my collections, because some people donate, and we have
NASA SRT, right?
Yeah, Special Response Team.
That's what's up.
Right. And then you have the actual security patrol.
Right here. Here's another one.
Then, this is a little history.
NASA Security Patrol.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's at the Kennedy Space Center. And then you have another actual says SWAT on it, So again,
I love all of these things that you have here. I love it. This is exactly what's up.
We'll skip through to now, right? What's happening now?
Yes.
And so a buddy of mine who's used to be there, and a couple are still there, the original guys that I worked with
at NASA
Space Center. Yeah.
Yes.
And so Jimmy Wright, shout out Jimmy.
What's up, Jimmy?
And his mom,
And hi, Jimmy's mom.
Yeah, she's no longer with us.
Well, hi, she's with my dad then.
Yeah, she's with her. Yeah, exactly.
Hanging out with my dad, okay?
They're great people, and so she made these for us. And so
Jimmy's mom, dude. Your mom's awesome. First of all, awesome. Moms rock. Okay. And Jimmy, this is a shout out to your mom.
Yeah, and his dad too.
And your dad.
Yeah. Great
KSC people. SWAT right here.
Yeah. So coolest areas to come together, right?
1979.
And that's when it started.
Gangster.
So it's
such an OG right here, right? Yeah.
And of course, throughout the years, you get patches. I don't know if I can see that right there. All these different.
Oh yeah.
So all these shuttle missions I've been a part of.
Shuttle missions.
Yeah. So astronaut protection. Sometimes this was my very first one. It's John Glenn.
John Glenn.
I think it was.
Let me look at
last
that.
mission.
That's awesome. Here, let me hold this up just like this to this camera here.
And I have coins and.
John Glenn, dude. That's legit. He got to go back up.
Yeah.
Right? As a observer at like 70 some odd years old.
Yeah. So President Clinton was the president at that time.
Right.
And that was my very first protection detail.
Was that?
It was crazy. And I was on the back door in the very corner because I'm a newbie, right?
Sure.
But it was important. Right? So everybody has an important job somewhere. Sometimes it's sweeping, but it's still important.
It's important. Yeah. Right. You don't slip on BBs.
Take your role and you just, you own it, right?
You do.
It's my door. No one comes in.
That's right. This is my position.
My responsibility. Yeah. So going back to the SWAT team, we all this shuttle stuff is cool and stuff, but we do compete.
Right.
So we compete in Orlando. It's the SWAT roundup. It's every year, and this is the 20th, and they do fairly well. So
just hang that right in front of our GoPro right here. Is that a Hero 7, Zach? What are we using right there?
That right there is a GoPro Hero 6 Black.
Hero 6 Black GoPro. Hey, thanks for having cool camera systems, GoPro.
I like it.
Thank you, GoPro.
Yeah, thank
Please
you.
sponsor us.
Yes, please.
So these competitions are all over the world, come to Orlando.
Okay.
So you have Dallas, LA, Ireland, that kind of stuff. So
They all congregate onto Florida.
exactly, and it's a brotherhood, like Jason and those guys are talking about. It's camaraderie, coming together, competing in your skills and your talents and sort of things. And NASA always gets a ribbon kind of thing, like, what do you guys do? Well, we come up with some cool ideas.
What do you guys do, NASA?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Those guys know what I'm talking about. If they are listening, they understand that.
Have you ever heard of the Death Star? I mean, come on.
Oh yeah. We get pretty creative and very talented people there too.
So now that you're out of NASA, okay, you've transitioned into the Army now.
So it was a fluke. So I'm sitting in an area of responsibility, and then one of my second shift guys,
AOR.
it was like, hey, you ever thought about joining the Army Reserves? Aren't you a medic? And I'm like, well,
Wouldn't that be a great idea? Don't you agree with me?
Don't you want
Sign
to make
right
extra
here.
money? I'm
yeah,
like,
bonus.
sure, right.
Airborne,
I'm like,
right?
Why not, right? So I joined the Army Reserves,
Sure.
and then 9/11 hit the next month. So that was my, wow, this is real, right? Because I was Fire Service, Air Force, nothing ever happened. I went everywhere, and nothing,
Right.
It is what it is. So then in the Gulf, I was a cadet, and I didn't get in on time because it was over with, right? So now,
big game.
Yeah, I'm a reservist and stamped a 91 Bravo, acquired
Which is
skills.
a medic.
Correct. So it's a combat medic. And so I ended up going to the 7235th in Orlando. So shout out to those guys.
I heard a thing about medics. They say you never want to talk down to a medic because one day your ass will be looking up at one. So
I've never heard that.
I just want you to know.
I'm glad I haven't.
Never talk down to a medic because one day your ass will be looking up at one.
Well, the old thing too is, if they call you doc, that's a good thing.
Right. That's a respect, right?
Exactly.
They're like, hey.
So it's a great. I've always said that even as I mentor soldiers now and OCT stuff and those sort of things, I always talk to medics and I said, listen, you're it, right? You're the mom, the dad, the brother, the sister. You're everything. You're the guy who listens and the guy who gives advice. And if you're not in the I got it moment, then
right.
The rest of them are not going to have it either.
No, because they need you to be the mom, the dad.
Exactly. Right. That's a big responsibility.
Right at that moment.
Be a leader, right?
So once you get into the Army, now you're doing your medic stuff. So we have a whole bunch of stuff littered here on the desk.
I do.
Tell me about
We'll
this.
jump through that. So, I after SWAT, I kind of missed it, and I still do. And so it's kind of like, what do I do now? I have all these cool skills, right? And I've gone through sniper school and that kind of thing in SWAT and that kind of medical. And so what do I give back kind of thing? And I took a class when I got here to Utah, and it was a concealed carry class. And I said, wow, I can teach this actually. And I was helping along because I can't help it. And so I started taking classes. So I took an NRA class. I was part of law enforcement, but the standards are different here. So you have to actually take like an NRA class to get that and then take their course here. So that's
I got a little bit of a cough going on.
You're
So
okay.
sorry.
Do I need CPR?
No, I just probably
Good.
need a lozenge, I'm sure.
So anyways, going back to that real quick is just, it turned into teaching a class. So I wanted something I can make versus buying because, guns are expensive, right?
Right.
So I wanted to have something I can put in somebody's hands, feel comfortable. They can actually visually see. I don't have to laser somebody that feels like, oh, that's dangerous. You're, being unsafe or some sort of thing. So I wanted to be able to make them feel comfortable putting that in their hands and giving them the instructions for basic stuff. So when I talked about a 44 Magnum, it's an actual 44 Magnum 3D printed that I didn't pay $800 for. So that's what was the whole intent behind that. So I did use that as my resource of providing hands-on training. And then it kind of went from there. I made the Master Chief helmet as a fun little project.
Let's pull this out.
Yeah.
So it lights up.
Yeah.
Right?
So if you hit your chin, there you go. It should light up. Yeah. There we go. So there's the LEDs. So that took me about a week to do. And it was a fun little project. The great thing about it is trying to be creative. How do I make the lights work? How do I wire it? How do I put all this together?
Yeah, you built this.
Yeah, so it's from Thingiverse, so I have to give credit to them. And you can find that on that site. And then it's up to you however you want to do it. So that's basically what I did. And it was a fun little project. And I had a friend that said, "Why don't you just build the whole suit?" And I'm like, "Okay."
And you did.
And I did.
And I saw that. And it's glorious.
Yeah. So again, it's a challenge, right? So I take the challenge because no one tells me no. So I just do it. And so I actually went to FanX last year with it on, and it was a lot of fun.
Which is a cosplay convention that happens here with a lot of celebrities and everything.
It happens
I
on
bet
the
your
19th.
photo got taken a ton of times.
It was fun and sweaty, and everything kept falling apart because,
of course,
I'm new, right? I don't know
it's cosplay.
So I'm trying to figure it out.
Sure.
And yeah, it was a lot of good times, and actually, I'm entering this year that exact suit in the contest because I didn't know there was one.
Right.
They say, hey, you should put it in. You're a beginner.
I have a friend building the full. Right now, he's building Venom.
Nice.
The Parasite version.
Yeah, yeah. and then it just went on from there. It was like, okay, can I make this Iron Man? That I just showed off here.
Oh yeah, and let's take a look at your Iron Man.
So there's the lights.
Let's turn it this way here so we can see
that?
it. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So again, Thingiverse, but Mark 7, I believe. Anyways, this does come up and down. Again, this is just being creative. I didn't want to be exactly like.
Exactly. Right. A little bit of
fun, little me.
You in there.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I moved on to the Shore Trooper helmet.
Let's bring that out.
And it
right
became a little bit of an obsession, probably. And what are you gonna do with this stuff? I just like being creative, and it's a challenge. I don't know if you can get that on. Can you?
What do you think? Do you think I can?
It'd be tight. Woo.
Luke, I am your father.
You almost lost it.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Oh, the bearded stormtrooper exists
yes,
right here.
Exactly.
Let me put these back on so I can hear you.
But to be honest with you, all this creativity, and I listen to the guys talking about the creative people and stuff, and it's very true. To survive, you have to be creative. Think outside the box.
Yeah,
right?
always think outside the box.
And I think that's a gift sometimes that some people don't realize they have. And
right.
You have to be imaginative, right? So go out there and be imaginative and figure it out.
Right. Make it happen.
Right.
Because nobody's doing it for you.
Right.
So do it for yourself, like you said. And like on previous episodes that we've had, a lot of us want to earn what we've got. Mm-hmm. No one really wants anything handed to them.
Right.
But
working for it.
Right. Working for it is always a successful feeling. Mm-hmm. Even if you're just doing a regular job, working at the local gas station, you're pulling in a paycheck. And when you get that paycheck, it's success.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
True story.
And it's fun. And again, if you do well with what you like to do, right? So
that's exactly right. So tell me, since you do well, I see a bunch of things here.
Yeah.
Now, am I supposed to, what are we talking about here? What is this?
So,
again, we have a whole bunch of rings, and
right.
I don't know if you can see them or not, but.
We can bring it closer on the other side.
Here, why don't we move? And I know I'm coming down to about 4 minutes left of the show.
Wrap it up.
Zach, is that okay? 4 more minutes?
Oh yeah, I think so. If only the listener can put up with us.
Agreed. Zach, you've been wonderful as well. I just want to give a shout out to the Ready Man team here for allowing us to use their podcast studios.
Anytime, we got you.
I got you. Thank you so much, Zach.
So it started with a quarter. That's my story. And I saw a YouTube video how to make rings.
Okay.
So I said, well, that's a challenge. Let me try that. And I liked it so much that I've been all over the place. I've been to Africa and Germany and stuff like that, and decided, I have all these quarters and currency, and I don't know what to do with it. And it's a cool collection, but I wonder what it looked like if it was a ring. That's an actual peso.
That's a peso.
Yep.
Can you show that on the GoPro?
There you go.
So this ring here is a peso that has been forged, I would imagine.
So it's a hole punched and bent and heated, and
Are these for sale?
They are actually, and so I have a Poshmark account.
And what is that? Let's hear it.
So
plug it. Poshmark.
Kill Creative Wear.
Kill Creative Wear.
And you can find it. Here's an actual. Wow. I think I had that.
So Kill Creative Wear on Poshmark. Wow. So like you're an entrepreneur, right. You're a designer,
educator.
Dare I say a Marvel fashionista? Yeah. I don't even know. Here's his website. Here's his name right here, Killwear.
Yeah.
And you go check him out on Poshmark and support this veteran in his entrepreneurial endeavors.
Yeah.
I want you to be super successful.
Thanks.
I think you already have been. But I mean, once you transition, right? Yeah.
So, it all starts with one thing, right? So this has basically been a product of many things down the road. I had a friend that said, imagine what you could do in a year from now.
Right.
And that's what's become, So what do I do next? So I made bracelets and I made necklaces, and it sounds kind of funny. A SWAT guy making necklaces.
And I have ideas for you that I might just throw after we get off this, so no one else will kind of take that. But I'll give you a couple suggestions, and you may just run crazy with it. In my mind,
I never thought. I just
remind.
fun.
No, I know, but
It's
as
great.
a business guy myself. Right, I automatically think of a couple things that come to my mind.
Great.
I'll tell you about those after we're offline, so that no one can snake them.
So I want to add to the caveat before we do that.
Go ahead,
stuff,
please.
Is that when learning how to design this product here, which is something I wanted to, instead of throwing things in your box, all those memories, those things that you served to earn.
That you can't see anymore.
Right, you can't see, or nobody knows about until it's that day. My grandpa wanted
I dug through the box and there it is, yeah.
So I wanted something because I earned this stuff, and I wanted to put it out there so when my kids want it, or somebody down the road, or even a retirement award.
Right.
I have variations of this. I like to start a business doing something with my creativeness. And at the same time, I created my own coin, because in the military we have coins. So I made my own knife hand.
Knife hand, which is so sharpen your knife hands.
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing. So a lot of people think it's a bad thing. So I always say I'm knife hand because I'm pointing out you are doing great.
Right.
And so always point in a safe direction.
Always point your knife hand in a safe direction, dude.
And then, of course, the other side is my name, Master Kilgallon, knife hand. And only the best can carry this.
That's awesome.
And that's a positive note for those soldiers that I give them. They all want one, of course.
Of course.
And they're not made, I don't have any few of these. And this one is yours, by the way. And I made it specifically for you. And
I love you, bro. I think you're fabulous. Okay.
No,
I just want you to know that.
Yeah, thank you.
True story.
It's no big deal. But I just think it's a great gesture of
I want to
friendship.
wear it around my neck. let me kind of,
because you could put it on. You're nice, cool.
Oh yeah, and display it.
Display
and
it
it's a little white, so let me tilt it so we can kind of see. Master Sergeant Kilgallon.
Knife hand.
Knife hand. And let me flip it around real quick. Keep it on there. So there's the knife hand. For those of you that don't know what a knife hand is, it's exactly.
I do that a lot.
Now, over that way.
Take me, whatever. Yeah, exactly.
I will cherish this. This will go someplace special.
Good.
And you know that I have a collection of patches, commander's patches.
Yes.
Military patches.
You actually have some NASA patches.
patches. At my shop. So this is awesome.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Rob. Absolutely. I really appreciate that. Now, this is Fired Up with Rad. That's me, Rad. And I'm fired up right now.
Yeah, I'm fired up too.
So I have rapid fire questions to throw at you.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I like it.
So we're going to wind down the show. First of all, again, if you're just joining us, I'm sitting down with Rob Kilgallon, a man of many, many, many talents, a wonderful selfless service to our country individual, and I don't know what else nice things I could say about it to you. I don't want to. I don't want to cry. So I just think you're great for
big hugs.
All of your sacrifice that you have made in the name of our red, white, and blue.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
100%.
My family sacrifices too.
That's exactly right. Because behind you is the family that
Absolutely.
is at home, and you may not be there all the time deployed, and the wife's running the house, or the kids are listening to her, and you come in and she's like, "You just sit tight. I'll be right with you."
Yeah, it's tough. And a lot of soldiers know that. And
right.
a lot of families out there, or people who are not in the military, don't really necessarily understand.
No, my dad would deploy for like 3 to 6 months at a time with the Green Berets. Mm-hmm. And then my mom was at home, and she was taking me to school, and she was feeding me, and she was taking me to Boy Scouts and to baseball practice. Mm-hmm. My dad would come home, and she's like, "Okay, I still have to take him to baseball practice and to do all these things, and you're falling right back into line,
right.
Jack."
Yeah, you're
so
right.
get into line, because
nice.
So now all of a sudden his new chain of command is mom.
Exactly.
True story. And
right,
he's like,
mom's in charge.
"I'm here. Yeah, well, do these things." Mm-hmm. And now she can rest and take a bath.
Let's do that rapid fire.
Okay, here we go. So, rapid fire with Rad. What is your favorite food?
Enchiladas.
Enchiladas.
I'm Mexican.
That's so funny. What's your favorite sport?
Football.
Football. Who's your favorite football team?
It's the Patriots.
I know. I saw your Patriots. I got to have you tell it, though, right? What is your favorite color?
Orange.
Orange. And where's the last place you took a vacation?
With my wife and kids in Orlando.
When, though?
Yeah.
When was that?
A year ago, probably.
Okay, all right. Pretty recent.
We're working on more vacations.
What is your favorite genre of music?
Ooh, I like it all. So I like Johnny Cash.
Okay.
I'm a big Johnny Cash fan. I could play that all day.
Ring of Fire.
Oh, yeah.
Should make a Ring of Fire.
I actually have one in there. But anyways, yeah, I'm
of course you do.
Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah.
Lamb of God,
Just heavy.
Slipknot, driving that just gets. Yeah, it's
I got to
awesome.
throw the Used in there. They're my boys, so I'm going to give them a shout out too. I listen to them all the time. So, and then what's the last concert you went to?
Slipknot concert about 2 years ago. I took my kids. They've never been. They were
Oh my God.
Got them shirts and everything. That was the best dad ever.
Fingers into my
High five.
eyes. That's what, like,
awesome.
what, Dad? You're sticking your fingers in your
I was
eyes.
singing everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So I saw Stone Sour, which is the lead
Nice.
singer and the guitar player.
Oh, we used to play those songs, Finger to glass.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And you play the guitar.
Oh, yeah.
And you have a whole collection of guitars.
I have plenty, yes.
Oh, my goodness.
You got to come over.
Listen, this is not the last time that you're going to hear about Rob Kilgallon on this show. And I just want to say thanks for being on Fired Up with
Fired Up.
Rad.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm super stoked. And I want to say thanks to Hurricane.media. And I want to say thanks to all of you out there that defend our great nation. And
Absolutely.
The flag that we get to sleep under every night is not, it's red, white, and blue. And that red is real.
And we're always there.
Always there, always watching, always defending.
It's great to have people who are willing to do that.
Yeah.
And it's an honor.
And I'm glad that you're training them.
Oh, yeah, well, it takes everybody.
Like, oh, well,
I'm not just one person, but there's a lot of great leaders and there's a lot of good people out there.
There is, and it's a team, right? And it's a team, and I met your team, and that's a whole team effort, right? From lieutenant colonels, generals, everybody all the way down.
Yeah, great personalities.
So thanks again for being on Fired Up with Rad.
Yes, it's an honor.
And I look forward to having you again.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, well, thank you, Rob. I appreciate it. All right, so peace out.